Hello gamers! Today I thought I would share with you my Sega Dreamcast collection because I realized I've been picking up quite a few games for it recently. But anyway, let's start out with my systems and accessories. I do have my original boxed system, and as far as accessories go, I've got the Mad Catz light gun for it for House of the Dead, and moving on to VMUs, the visual memory units, memory cards for the system. I've got 3 of those that are boxed. And controllers, I also have 3 boxed controllers, and then a Game Shark, which allowed you to use different cheats and stuff through a memory save system on the Dreamcast. And then as far as controllers, I do have 4 additional controllers. Something that I consider a necessity, these controller extension cables really come in handy with the Dreamcast. I've got another VMU, and then the Rumble Pack, which you see above it there next to the Dreamcast system, which is just the one that I've got in this box here. I just have it out for this video. And then I've got the oh-so amazing SegaNet keyboard. Let me tell you, if you never got the chance to surf the internet at the blazing speeds of 56K dial-up through your Dreamcast, well, you know what? You just haven't lived.
Note to self, I don't want to live.
And then my favorite piece as far as my Dreamcast collection goes is just this Sega Sports Edition Dreamcast. I love the black finish and the matching controller. I actually got that at a thrift store. I believe my brother-in-law found it and picked it up for me. That's the system I use and have out all the time because it just goes with my other consoles better. You gotta love black. But yeah, that is my systems and accessories, and now we'll dive into my games. Alright, so first up, we've got Fatal Fury, Mark of the Wolves, which is actually a pretty uncommon game for the Dreamcast. Came out very late in the life cycle. It's not overly expensive, but it is hard to find. Extreme Sports, Konami's Silent Scope, Vigilante 8 Second Offense, which to be honest I was really disappointed in when I picked up. It's just simply not as good as the first. WF Royal Rumble, WF Attitude, Ready to Rumble Boxing. That was a huge game when the Dreamcast first launched. Wild Metal, Rockstar game. One of the first games I bought when I picked up my system, Sonic Adventure. Jeremy McGrath Supercross 2000. NFL Quarterback Club 2000 with a very busted case. NFL Blitz 2000, again not the best case. Soul Fighter. Air Force Delta, another Konami game there. Virtua Tennis, really fun tennis game. Classic arcade port, Hydro Thunder, such a great game. Sega GT, I think I got that one as a freebie when I bought my Dreamcast. They were running some special at Best Buy. TNN Motorsports, Hardcore Heat. Sega's Bass Fishing. Expendable. Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. Of course, there was never a Volume 2. Dave Mirra Freestyle BMX. I really enjoy that game. Championship Surfer. I don't enjoy that one. Rainbow Six Rogue Spear. World Series Baseball 2K1. Kind of an oddball, but one I'm happy to have complete. That is Seaman. And if you're not familiar with that game, I suggest you do a Google search or a YouTube search. It's an interesting game where you raise this sea creature that talks back to you. It's voiced by Leonard Nimoy. It's pretty bizarre. Blue Stinger. Sort of a Resident Evil type clone. Not very good though. MDK2. Really good game, especially when it came out. Goofy, dark action. Choo Choo Rocket, a really fun game, especially multiplayer. But it's one that I can never seem to get my friends to get into or understand, so sadly I never really get to play it much. At least not with another person. Rippin' Riders. I really love this game. It's made by the same people, WEP Systems, who published and developed the Cool Borders 2, which is one of my favorite games on the PlayStation, so it's very similar, sort of a spiritual successor. Here we've got Resident Evil Code Veronica. That was another major title for the Dreamcast when it launched. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, the first one. Sega Rally 2. I really enjoy this game. It's got really kind of floaty controls, but I have fun with it. A few more sports titles here. NFL 2K. NHL 2K. NFL 2K1. Now, honestly, sports games on the Dreamcast are great, so it's one system I don't mind picking them up for. Real Fishing Wild. One of my favorite games on the system and favorite arcade games of all time. House of the Dead 2. Love that game. Another great arcade game that came to the Dreamcast. Crazy Taxi. That was another major title when that system launched. And Jet Grind Radio. I'd never played anything like that when that game came out. Really fun. This one doesn't get a lot of credit. Echo the Dolphin, Defender of the Future. I don't know that it was that well received, and people kind of laugh it off. At least you don't hear it talked about very much, but I think it's a really good action-adventure game, to be honest. Sonic Shuffle, a broken, much less fun version of Mario Party. Surf Rocket Racers. A recent pickup for me and a great game. Sonic Adventure 2. Sydney 2000. One I love and I wish I had the controllers for. That's Samba de Amigo. Now you can actually get a Maraca controller set to play with this. I don't have that, unfortunately, but even with the gamepad, it's still a really enjoyable game with a lot of great style. Sort of the landmark title that everybody now praises. People were iffy about somewhat at the time. Shenmue. Not a game I really got into. I mean, I was blown away by it, by what it did, the world, the characters, the detail, but it just wasn't a game for me, and I never got very far into it. Space Channel 5, it's a really weird rhythm game, if you've not played that. Test Drive 6. Another one of my favorites here, Zombie Revenge. It's a third-person action game, and there's a lot of tie-ins to the House of the Dead series in there, a lot of the same characters and enemies. Really fun, especially with a buddy. Great beat 'em up. NBA 2K. My favorite Tony Hawk game, and probably one of my favorite games of all time, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I think the Dreamcast version is the definitive edition. Power Stone 2, absolutely phenomenal game, up to 4 players in this one. I think this one doesn't get enough praise. Obviously people like Power Stone and Power Stone 2, but more people tend to gravitate towards the first one, but this is my preference just because I think it's more chaotic. Not really a game, although it does contain Sega Swirl. Web Browser 2.0 came with the system. And then to cap it off, nothing overly exciting here, just a few loose titles that I don't have complete. Trick Style, sort of a weird action sports racing game. Toy Commander, good game. And the last one up is Mach X, which is a first-person game with sword gameplay instead of a gun like you see in every other SPF or FPS. And really good game. I highly recommend it if you can find a copy. But yeah, that is it, guys. That is my entire collection. So as always, thanks for watching.